Hi Flosstube, it's Nerissa from Nerissa's Stitching Lifestyle in Christchurch, New Zealand. Welcome. Today is Thursday, 30th of October, 2025. And we are less than 2 months away from Christmas. Oh boy, it's almost here. I've got some stitching to show you guys. I have been extremely busy with work and other things and still managed to get some stitching in this last fortnight. I've got some samplers to show you I've been working on, and I have got some Christmas to show you I've been working on. So my needles have been flying, bending through the fabric, whatever you want to call it. They've been working overtime, let's just say that. It's a very stressful time at work. October, November, December, even January actually. It's the 4 months of the year where it is crazy season, and my stress relief is my stitching above anything else. I would rather come home and stitch than cook tea. Let's say that. Okay, enough waffling. Should we get on with it? I think we should. Rightio, so my red thread a day stitch, where's my thread gone, is Louisa Coulimore by Hands Across the Sea Samplers, and I am stitching her on 56 count cream Zweigart linen using 103 silk thread in colour number, hopefully that will focus, 646. Starting to get a little bit, we're on 648, sorry, 648. There, hopefully it'll, I want to focus. 648, a burgundy, real deep burgundy, which is one of my favourite colours. Okay, so I have made quite a bit of progress on Louisa. I'm not going to get my goal that I had set for myself to have this finished by tomorrow. There's no way, but definitely going to not be far off. Okay, so here is Louisa, and she is gorgeous. She's a Bristol sampler. She's my second Bristol sampler I'm stitching. My first one I did was Harriet Salt, which is finished, and if you want to see that, that is in a few videos back. But I'm stitching Louisa with my friends Lee and Judith, and I know there's a few other people stitching her as well, but that's who my stitch along is definitely with. We started this on 1st of August for Stash Sampler Starts 2025, and like I said, my personal goal was to have it finished by the end of tomorrow, the 31st, but I think I'm going to be at least another week because I've still got a bit to go. Okay, so what did I stitch this morning? I stitched the G to the N, the R to the U, number 4, 5, 7 and 8, or half a 5, half a 6, and that is how it is done in the pattern. She either skipped the 5 or skipped the 6, but when you look at it, they do look like half of each number. I came down and I did the second half of the N, the O, the P and the Q, and that for me was only 2 threads. And I will admit, I do long threads some mornings. Other mornings, if I haven't got time, it's shorter threads. So I still have what do we got? P, Q, R to go in this row, and then this one, some little motifs in here, and then back down to this corner here, and I'm still undecided what I'm putting in where Louisa's name was. Kind of have an idea, and I need to pencil and paper and graft it out and see if it's going to fit in. I'm hoping it will, because I really want this finished. Because I have some other red thread things for the next couple of months that I want to stitch in the mornings, including another big sampler. But we'll see how we get on. The ornaments, let's just say the ornaments will get priority, but we have to finish Louisa first. Isn't she gorgeous? Can't wait to have her done. On that, I will be stitching Mary. I have a whole pile in my folder here in my bag. So Mary 365, 1869, another Bristol sampler from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. I will be stitching Mary starting January the 1st. I may sneak in and do a little bit on New Year's Eve, but January the 1st definitely. And we will do red thread a day with her as well, and hopefully by the end of the 6 months she will be done. She's gorgeous, can't wait to get started. So Mary will be done with the same burgundy thread, so 648. Is that sticking? And same Zweigart linen and 56 count. So she will be my next Bristol sampler that I will be working on. But like I said, not until January the 1st will I be starting her. So if you'd like to join me on that, you're more than welcome. Just let me know in the comments. And after that, I do have a few more sitting in here. Not necessarily Bristol, or one more Bristol. And then a couple of Quaker samplers that I want to do as well. And I want them all on the same wall. I know that probably sounds silly, but space-wise they all work. Okay, so that is Louisa. I just got to watch. It's a beautiful sunny day today in Christchurch. And I have one cat, and I'll show you photos after. One cat asleep on the couch, just here. And one cat about half a metre behind me on the floor here. Because Mum's at home. You know. Goodness knows what they do when I'm not here. Alright, sampler number 2 that I worked on, which didn't get a lot of love, but still. Oh, sorry for knocking the camera. I worked on Heart and Home Patchwork from Blackbird. I think it's Blackbird, isn't it? Find the cover page. Blackbird Designs, and it comes from the book A Heart Remembers. So this year I have worked my way through a couple of the other samplers and smaller ones, and that was sort of the next big one in the line, and I do intend to do some of the littler ones as well, but we will just work our way through the booklet. Okay. So I am stitching this on, what are we doing? Vintage Country Mocha in 40 count. I'm using the DMC conversion, which is in the booklet. And here is where I'm at. I didn't quite get enough time. Gosh, look, you can see my little hoop mark. When I use 40 count, 46 and 56, I use my little spring hoops. Just helps open them up a little wee bit. Okay, so I finished the alphabet. I was halfway through the W, which is 1 over 1. 4 crosses, so I finished that, finished these. I went up and the bird was done, so I've done the red underneath for the plant, and then all the greenery of that down and over here. So I've still got a little bit more to come here. I've still got to do the other letter in the other number, and then I think I've still got a couple of white berries to go in through this, and then we'll be on to the next page. Lee from Creative Lee is stitching this as well. She started as part of her stash sampler starts for 2025, same as I did. We started on the same day, Lee? I think we did, same week anyway. And she is finished page 2. And it looks absolutely awesome. So I've got a wee bit of catching up to do, catch up with Lee, but I have been concentrating on some other samplers. So here we go. She's gonna be beautiful. And that, I mean, that is as tall as it is, so it's gonna fit in a nice frame. It's kind of just a bit taller than my hand. But that's just a fun little stitch, comes out for one evening, and normally on one of those evenings where I've worked late or extra hours and just tired, and 40 count's just lovely to stitch on for when you're feeling a wee bit worn out. Okay, sampler number 3 is another one of my want to have finished before the end of the year, and that is Hannah Campbell 1838 from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. This was, I got it from Traditional Samplers as a kit, and fully kitted, and oh my gosh, I love this. This is so gorgeous. I am stitching it on, oops, all my tray with my 103 silk threads, and my fabric is Vintage Sand Dune Lakeside Linens in 46 count, and she is beautiful. I'm sorry, I just don't want to end up dropping all those spools on the floor, or we will have cats running everywhere. And here, as you can see, there's my hoop mark. I need to really iron it out. Here is Hannah, and she's so beautiful. It's a little bit hard to see what I worked on. I'll bring her forward. So this time round I worked on some of the blue, so little bits down here, finished these guys, came over and I put the top on this one, here, I think I'd already done the tree, I think it's that one down, and started in on the waves. So the waves that are on this side are repeated on this side. And that was it. That was my I think it was one evening, and I think I finished off a couple of the threads. I had 2 locations going the next day. So slow progress, but goal. We've still got, what do we got, 7 weeks till Christmas. 4, 8, 9, no, 8, oh no, whatever it is. 9 weeks till Christmas. By the end of the month, no, 7 weeks, 7 and a bit. Let's go 7 and a bit. Oh, mess is hard today. 7 and a bit weeks to go to get 4 samplers finished. Oh, we're going to be pushing it, but I think we'll be fine, or we'll be very close. I'd like to say we'll get them done. But there goes Hannah. She's beautiful. There's some big pitch things to go in the bottom here. So this is where I was stitching. So I've got that tree and all of that to go in yet. And the bird, I think it is on that side. Yep, haven't done the bird. I'm not worried about where's the name? The name here, because that's not the name that's going to go in it. I've got the alphabet to do and the 1/1 in here, and then there's big parts like 2 trees, a house. They're all big bulky stitching, they won't take long. But Hannah is coming together nicely. So there goes Hannah. So that's number 3. Okay, number 4 was, just make sure I've got one stuck against me, sorry. Number 4 that I worked on was Mary Ann Diaper 1826 from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. She's so gorgeous. I can't wait to have her done and up on the wall. So Marianne is, I was just about to say my only 36 count, but she's not. I have two 36 counts now going, but Marianne is one of my biggest samplers on a 36 count. Just check where their cat is. And this is her hair. She's stitched using DMC threads, 1/2 on 36 count, and the fabric I dyed myself. I love how it came out. All the tan and the pinky splotchy works really well with this. So I put in a few pink threads into the flowers here, but I mostly concentrated up here in the 1/1 wording. I really wanted to get that, a good chunk of that done, and I did get the 1.5, so I'm quite pleased with that. So not long to go, a little bit more here, and then we'll come down. I'm kind of saving the fun stitching, the big full-on stitching towards the end. I've still got to do the leaves in the border, still got to do the flowers in the border, so up this side goes on this side as well. But she'll get finished. She will be finished before the end of the year. I might not go to sleep on New Year's Eve while I finish all these, but they will be done. I don't think there's going to be a problem. As long as I don't get too hooked into the Christmas stitching, let's just say that. But Mary is beautiful. She is. Right, so that was sampler number, what have we got? 1, 2, 3, that was 4. Sampler number 5 is my other big girl. Queen of the May. Oops, sorry. Here's on the face. For 2018. She was the first Queen of the May from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. Sarah Brazier, 1829. This is the one for the satin stitch and the big deer. Sorry, you can see that glare off the ring light. She's just gorgeous. And this is where my concentration was. Because I finished End They Sin last video, my concentration for the weekends has actually been Sarah Brazier rather than 1 which was what I was going to do. But I got hooked into Sarah and I've made some really good progress. I'm really pleased. So here, just watch out for that cat again. Here is the full thing. As we come closer. Okay, so last time when you've seen it, I had started coming down the side here with all the greenery, which is going to be like these, the internal fancy border. I have now finished all the internal fancy border for the green work. I've come along the bottom and I have 1.5 of the green work still to go. I also brought down the 2 double sides, just got a little bit there to go as well, for the satin border, ready to fill in all the satin stitches. But I'm really pleased with my progress because this is on 56 count as well. So I got linen, just plain white, and I'm using DMC threads. And as you can see, there's a thread hanging there. To go up the road, just curl them up into a ball. There we go. So I'm really pleased with that. Sarah will come out again tomorrow night and we'll work on her. I'm working all weekend, so she'll come out and be stitched on after work in the evenings. So what have we got to do? We've got lots of satin stitch to do. We've got to finish the flowers in the border, which is the colouring in of them. and those couple of just little green bits, green bit along here. Then this part here gets mirrored over here, and that tree, there's a lot of stitching in that tree. And he's going to come back here, still to finish up here, and there's a little bit of 1 over 1. There's this one here has to be repeated here. There's a lot of I don't know if you can see it in the picture. There's a lot of like grass that has to be put in both levels. If I pop her down, hold on, sorry. If I pop her down, you can maybe see it. See how there's like these little wee grass tufts in between everything on each level? That still needs to be done because a lot of it is long stitch. And I don't really want to do that until everything else is done. I have made my mind up, and I'm not putting Sarah's name in this in the middle here. I'm going to put my name in the middle here because I'm the stitcher of it this time round. But I am going to put Sarah's name like very tiny, kind of in the bottom here somewhere. So it's still acknowledged, and it will be in here with her name and the date, but it won't be in the big writing here. So I have pencil sketched it out on a piece of graph paper to make sure it's going to fit how I want it to, and we will get to that part. There's still a lot of stitching before we get to putting the name and the other little part in as well. I'll just show you Sarah again because I'm quite pleased with what I got done. So she's another goal to finish before the end of the year. So every sampler I've shown you, apart from maybe the Blackbird, that might be a bit of a stretch, the other 4 big ones I want to finish before the end of the year. That is my goal. Because I've quite enjoyed kind of concentrating on just the like 4 or 5 and getting them right through. And I think I will kind of do that next year as well, when I've been thinking about plans for next year. And I'll just, as they finish, bring the next ones in. Really want to bring out Dutch Beauty and get some more love into her. So she will be coming out at the beginning of the year. I've got, yeah, lots. We'll talk about that later on though. Okay. One sampler left to show you, but not one I've stitched on. And I didn't pull it out earlier, sorry. We'll have a little zippy noise. And that is Maria Vincenza Larica, 1837. I think that's how you say her. From Hands Across the Sea Samplers. It's a good picture there of her. Now this is, of course, red stitching. So she will become part of my morning stitch along with my ornaments that I want to do that are red stitching. I am coordinating. And I'm not worried about pushing to get Maria done. She's just one of those ones that when she's done, she's done. But I'm going to show you where I'm at so that we have a starting point. I bring a board just so that put the extra board, but I didn't pull her out to put her on. Now she is on a piece of antique lace 46 count from number 12. Excuse me. From number 12 Stitch Co. And this, oh my gosh, she does need it iron. She's been folded up in that bag for a while. Okay, so the border is pretty much, bring her back here. It's a very long piece. So this is on a piece of, I told you what it was, but the size is like 18 by 30 inches. And she takes that whole, stand on that cat. She takes that whole piece. Oops. This is why I normally pin everything on the boards. Okay, so that's at the bottom corner. and we started coming up. So I know I've got enough, plenty for framing. But there's still a lot to fill in on her, and I can't wait to have her done. But she's just going to be a thread a day. So I do kind of plan ahead. And there's a lot of stitching to go in there. My thread I am using is Silks for You PB034. Beautiful red. I bought a whole hank of it, and I put it onto thread drops. I did make them quite short, but that's actually quite nice because it doesn't knot and it doesn't go all fluffy. I've still got a few. I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 4 that are kind of broke up. Put on there, and then I still have all of this left. So I think I'm going to have plenty to actually be able to do another red sampler in one of this thread. So I'm quite looking forward to that as well. But Maria, she will be coming out to play, and you will definitely see her in the next Flosstube, because I know I'm going to finish Louisa in the next week, if not earlier, but week definitely. Okay, Christmas stitching. Oh, the bug is here. I know I said that last time, but the bug really is here. Let's look at the whip parts, and then I'll show you my finished stitches that I finished stitching, and then I'm going to show you my messy assembly table. Okay, one that I have been stitching on is, oh, the book's falling down here, sorry, is Owl Forest Embroideries Merry Christmas. I've already done Mary. I've done the C, not that it's assembled yet. C's all finished. And this time around I worked on H, R and I. I'm sure it's 3. H, R and I. Now these are stitched on 36 count that I dyed myself. I'm using the Pulled For DMC threads. And great little wee project. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colours, plus a little bit of metallic. It's red, green, gold, snow, and brown for the branches. Okay, so what did we say? See, I'm just going to make sure I've got them all in the right order. H, and I need, sorry, paused you, had to go and grab a board. We haven't got needles still sitting in here and thread hanging. Okay, here's H. So we finished the outline. I am putting in the gold metallic. I've done the brown for the lanterns and started the snowflakes. So we're making nice progress on this one. I have taken these to work this week and thinking I would get time in my lunch break, not to get some red stitching into them. Hasn't happened. What have we got next? R. I was kind of getting a little bit frustrated with the H, so then I went on and started the R, did the outline, the gold, the green leaves, the red birds, started the snowflakes. I've done the red metallic, the gold metallic, sorry. I've filled in all the red R. This was a complete start, and I've now just got the snowflakes to finish off with this one. And a little bit of brown, I think it is, in the birds. Tiny, tiny bit. So that's R. I, because this is sometimes just, it's easier to get them started. Now, am I up the right way? Yes, I am, because it's the flowers. And here is I in Christmas. So we've done the out green, we've done the gold, not all of it. The red, the flower, and I've still got a few more. So they're quite detailed little wee ornament parts, and I can't wait. Behind me, up there is where Merry Christmas will come down. So it'll be right above the TV. Okay, so that's where I'm, just about lost the needle off the thread. That is where I'm at with the Merry Christmas ornament. Well, yeah, ornament, I guess you'd call them. But yeah, they've been going for a few years and need to be finished this year. So that is one of my Christmas whips. This is going to be a little bit muddled up. Hold on. Okay, my next Christmas whip, and I reprinted it. We got a coloured printer at work. I don't know what it is. And here is Mrs. Claus. And now you can see how beautiful she is. A bit better than the black and white photo. But she's gorgeous. She is from, if you're interested, Etsy, and it is xstitch_little_stories. And there we go there. She's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I've got a couple friends that are stitching her as well. One I know has definitely been making major progress. Jill has definitely been working on hers. I think she's way ahead doing back stitch at the moment, I believe. There was a lady on our local New Zealand Facebook group who has finished her. And beautiful, well done, absolutely gorgeous. Sorry, can't remember the name. And my friend Susie, who you've all heard me mention before. It's one of our stitch alongs. Susie, I'm not sure where you're at with yours, but I've been working on mine. And yes, she does look a little bit strange. Here's her eyes. So I've been basically finishing the front of the dress. I have the gaps here are one colour, so that's got to be filled in. Sort of fill in here, the lacy work that goes in here. Her apron's not filled in yet, but I wanted to get her head in. Because there's more red that needs to come up here, and I kind of want to get that done. Then some of the colours that's in the apron are in her face, so kind of want to be able to utilise when I have a colour out that I'm going to get a lot of stitching out of it, instead of, you know, 10 stitches and I have to close it off and start again. So yes, this is her face at this stage. She probably really suits Halloween more this week than Christmas, but she's going to be so gorgeous. So that's her front. We still have to stitch her back. Still have to stitch. Yeah, so we've still got to stitch the top half. Which, if I remember right, the hat is separate. Can't remember now. No, it's not. Or it might be part of the hat is separate. I know the arms and the teacup and all that, that's separate. You add that on after. Once you've finished that separate stitching. And then, of course, the back of the apron. And there is a crocheted shawl that goes around and over her shoulders as well, and that's gorgeous, and I must take that to work from one of my friends that can crochet it for me. She's a mastermind for crocheting, so she'll whip it up in a night or two. But she's gorgeous, even though she looks spooky. She's been stitched on 36 count, just plain cream swagart linen, and I am using 2 threads over 2. And the reason why is because she's going to be a stand-up for Christmas, and I want her to last a long time, and I want her to be able to hold that pressure when I start stuffing her to make her into a stand-up. That I really wanted her nice and full stitching. I almost went down to 32 count. I said 36. Sorry guys, 32 count. Sorry, outlining. Or is it 36? Oh my gosh. $36 count. Yes, I need a holiday. It will be fine. Here's all her beautiful colours. They're gorgeous. Rightio, so we still got Mr. Christmas to go, but Mrs. Christmas this year. Okay, where are we going to pop you? Because you're a whip. Right, my next whip that I have been working on is Prairie Schoolers Santa's 12 Days of Christmas. And I had 1 and 2 finished. Almost finished 3. Got that done. And was working on 4. Got that done too. So book 1, done. There's 3 booklets in this series. Where's the board gone? And you put things down and then you can't find them. Seems the story of my life today. Okay, so 1 and 2 with the previous finishes. 3 and 4 are now completely stitched. That stain will come out, and if it doesn't, it actually will be right at the edge of it, and I will be able to cover that up anyway. So there we go. 3 and 4. These are stitched on 40 count, and I can't remember which one I used. It's from the bottom of one of my samplers, one of my yards of fabric. Is it Lindy Touch Beauty and all that are on? I can't remember. I know it's a fox and rabbit, but I can't remember the actual colour name. I'll look it up for next time. But yes, 3 and 4. So haven't started, but we'll be starting the next ones. Keep working along on this. So we're up to the second booklet, which is day 5, day 6, day 7, and day 8. So 5 golden rings. We've got 6 geese, 7 swans, and 8 cows. Or 8 maids are milking, isn't it? Can't remember. But, so we're a third of the way through the set. And this has been going for a couple of years, so I have been kind of slack on it. You get so sidetracked to all the new and shiny. And then we'll be into book 3, which is 9, 10, 11, and 12. May not get all of these done this year. I would love to get 5 and 6. I would love to get halfway. But if I can get further, I will. They don't take that long once you've got the outline all done and for Santa and the little novelty things. Then the rest of the fill-in's quite quick. Did the fill-in the other day when I was watching, who was I watching? Oh, Sean, Prairie Wrinkle Stitcher. Thank you for your marathon Flosstube. Oh my gosh, it was so awesome. Your review of both retreats that you went to, and just watching all your whips, and I get a lot of stitching in, but you get a lot of stitching and sewing and quilting and embroidery work done. It's amazing. It's awesome. I love that there's someone else that's as crazy as I am. I know there's more than just us two out there, but yeah. So there you go, 1 to 4. And I do have a major plan for what is happening with my 12 Days of Christmas series. And you guys will see that. Sorry, too much talking. Okay, the next ones I'm going to show you are some of them are starts and finishes. The first one, which I was stitching on last time, which was from Jingle. Last year or the year before, can't remember, but it is from Peace on Earth from Hands on Designs. My goodness. Sorry, Kathy. I love her Christmas ornaments. And here we go. Peace on Earth. It's finished beautifully. Oh my gosh. Sorry. It wants to move. I stitched this on a piece of Midnight on 40 count using the DMC threads 1/2, and the fabric was from Country Stitch in New Zealand, and she dries beautiful fabric. I've got enough blue to do one more ornament out of it, and then I might have to order some more because I do like it. So really happy to have that done. So that is going into the to be fully finished pile. Now these may be out of order of what I stitch, how I stitch them. This one was a freebie from Shannon Christine Designs on Facebook and Instagram last week. From now to Christmas, she always brings out a little wee ornament, and they're a beautiful little wee quick stitch. So this was a couple of just a couple of stitchy, well, minor stitchy sessions. One half an hour one morning, and I think an hour and a half the next morning. Something like that. It was only a couple of hours to get this stitched. Little wee gingerbread round. So if you're after this pattern, it is a freebie. It's done DMC threads from Shannon Christine Designs. So follow her on Instagram or follow her on Facebook, and you'll be able to collect the little series. But honestly, they're quick stitches. I think it's like 45 by 45 or something like that. There is a lot of stitching in there though when you look at Mr. Gingerbread Man. He's gorgeous. So he'll be turned into an ornament as well. Another one was a start and a finish, was also from Jingle, and this one was from Heartstring Samplery, Death Twist, and it is called Jingle All the Way. And here is mine pinned up here. I did that on Aztec Red 36 count. Who's that from? Weeks Dye Works, isn't it? And this is the same fabric that I did my 12 Days of Christmas from Hands on Designs on. And I just had a few, I thought, oh, I'll maybe get 2 more little wee ornaments out of the piece I've got left. And I had a fat half. Yes, fat half of that, and did the 12 Days of Christmas and a couple little ornaments, this one, and still got room for another 2 out of the scrap. So DMC threads, and we'll turn this into an ornament as well to go on the tree. This was another one that I got from the Jingle Ball. I can't remember, I'm pretty sure it was part of one of the Jingle Ball books that you can buy at Jingle Ball, and you get 12 designs from the designers. My last one was a start and a finish and a fully finish, and that was from Lindy Stitches. Got that from Jingle Ball as well. Sprinkle Christmas Kindness. This one I stitched on the Midnight from Country Stitch, so 40 count using DMC threads. Honestly, this took a day, one stitchy session. I know I'm a fast stitcher, so maybe two evenings for somebody, but isn't it gorgeous? This wooden frame is just a photo bomb frame that's already ready to hang. I got from Kmart last year. I haven't seen them in Kmart this year, and I wish I'd grabbed more last year because they are a great little wee finish. I have put it on a mat board and padded it so that it's nice and kind of just slightly 3D'd, and that rather than it sitting flat against the board. And she is laced on the back of that piece and then flopped in, and the board is just sitting on the back. So nice, quick, easy, fully finished ornament. I believe this was a freebie that she did, but like I can't remember last year, the year before, or the year before. I've been to all 3, so. And I've still got more from Jingle Ball that I want to be stitching from last year before we even get to Jingle Ball this year. So you will see some more Jingle Ball starts and finishes, and you will see some other normal pamphlet Christmas stitching. I'm just going to grab one more. Okay, so my next Christmas stitching that it's a restart. I started these a couple years ago and then didn't like the fabric I had them on, so I stopped. I have since now restarted them, or restarted one this week, and I'm going to put these in. Sorry for the glare. It is the Erica Michaels, the Caroling Berries from Erica Michaels. They came out a couple of years ago. There's this 5 plus 1, 6 of them. I'm not doing the berries. I probably should, but I'm not. I'm doing the cushions, but I'm not going to finish them as a cushion. I'm actually just going to finish them as a flat ornament. I am stitching them on 40 count salted caramel from number 12 Stitch Co. So mine are going to be stitched in garnet from Wheat's Dye Works. I have plenty. I've got four skeins here, and I know I'm not going to need 4 skeins, but I've kept them all together because that's the colour I wanted them in. And this is going to become one of my red threads a day stitching. So here, and I know I've left the thread in because I hooked it in ready to start again because I haven't done today's thread. This was not yesterday, day before, so I didn't do any yesterday because I worked a very long shift yesterday. But that was my one thread. So I'm working on the border. I think I've got 6 stitches to go if I remember right, and then I'll do another leaf and then come up, and leaf and come up, and then we'll start filling in. So I have started with, and I have plenty. So this is another scrap. Oops, we'll undo the thing. So this is another what's left out of the piece from one of my samplers. Can't remember which one I did on salted caramel. It was the 40. Yeah, I can't remember. I'll have to have a look, and it's just the way it's, you know, cut out the sampler, but I will definitely get them all and across the bottom there, and probably still have some left for stitching some more ornaments. So this is how I use up my scraps. I don't waste them. I try and get as much as I can out of them, and they are great for finishing with ornaments. And I'm not going to cut it off because it's actually easier just to have it as one nice long one than tiny little pieces. So there we go. So I will put my thread in today, probably while this is uploading, and then tomorrow it'll get another thread and another thread, because I'm not too worried if I can get all of these done. Some of them might end up with 2 threads in, but they would definitely they're going to become part of my thread a day stitching because it's red thread. And that, my lovely friends, is all of my stitching. Like I said, I've got lots of stitching plans. I still want to finish my 4 samplers, so they get the priority in the evenings. Red thread a day gets priority first thing in the morning, and then Christmas stitching gets a little bit in the morning, and if I feel like working on that in the evening, I might work on it for a little bit, maybe while tea's cooking, and then I'll get into my samplers after tea. But yeah, that's it. So guys, remember, 1 thread a day will get your stitching done. We'll get those big samplers finished. We'll get your Christmas ornaments all done. Before we say goodbye though, I am probably going to film, well, I'm hoping to film each tree as I pull out the ornaments and put them on because I'm doing it slightly different this year, which I do every year. I change it up a little bit. But I kind of have a different plan this year for how I want my trees to be. So that will process will be starting, i.e. hopefully this afternoon, when I can get my son to come and help me lift out a cabinet into the garage. Then I can bring the trees in and start putting the trees up. They won't be decorated, but they'll be up, because one little monster will like to climb those trees. And if we have a week with no ornaments in them, she climbs the trees, goes up and down. I might come home and find a tree on the ground, but she gets it out of her system. And I can then decorate, and she doesn't touch the ornament. She might take the odd ones from down the bottom, which I always put the big cushion thingies at the bottom of the trees, so that she can play to her heart's content. But she doesn't climb up the tree. So that's my plans between samplers, Christmas stitching, Christmas decorating, and of course we'll throw work in there somewhere. So happy stitching, everybody, and we will see you next time. Bye.